Are starting soon. Thingy. You're live. I'll put Adam's screen now. Main screen, and hello everybody. I think we are live.
Okay, hello, hi. Yeah.
Did I fuck it up? No, I didn't.
No, since like everything's working, we're just gonna start it off. Welcome to the next weekly stream. As always, the coin market manager shill. If you want to get free access to the whole platform, you can register with the link in our bio. It works for Bybit. You can you're gonna connect your Bybit account. Basically, you will get all the free, all the paid features for free. So that's nice. You probably heard it weeks before, so I'm not going to spend so much time on it. We also have Jim joining us today, so that's nice.
Just in the headline.
Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna just start with BTC. We had a little bit of a eventful day today, so I, to be fair, have like no idea what's going to happen next, so we're just gonna kind of freestyle it today. Yeah, we had this awesome news event, which, you know, I wasn't at home. I just opened up the Twitter, and I'm not going to beef with anyone, but yeah, I saw like someone with like a huge account, like several 100k followers, just tweeting the ETF got approved.
Say it.
No, I'm not gonna. But yeah, then you know, it was just the fake news from the Cointelegraph, which is pretty insane, like how much this went. You know, considering, you know, obviously, yeah, it was a 10% move. It's I think it's one of those things where everyone basically just got kind of blown out, and we are going to hit this few weeks of, you know, just that nothing to do type of market. So this is going to be awesome. Also, you know, considering that we are still in this fucking forever range basically on BTC since the last 6 months, you know, on the VWAPs, we are kind of trading within this yearly VWAP structure, you know, bunch of shit on the left, you know, like if I would just draw the volume profile on this, you know, you will be basically sitting somewhere around the POC. I can just do it for the sake of...
I was just looking at my own chart, and I was like, hang on, why can't I see the volume profile? Forgot to watch the stream.
Yeah. So yeah, if I'm just going to draw the volume profile, basically ever since we kind of broke out from this kind of previous range in start of the year, you know, we are sitting right at the POC at the moment, or in this kind of like a huge chunk of the volume. So that's kind of it for BTC. Like, I know it's sad, but you know, like I said, last week I spoke about the
Goodbye, everybody.
You know, the
Thank
fact
you.
that I wanted to see this kind of a test of 26k. You know, when we were selling off, this didn't happen. I was on long ETH. You know, ETH had this, at least, you know, took out these lows into this like minus 1 standard deviation of the current year. So I took long. That was like the only thing I did on this move. I had to take profit on basically filling this kind of gap right here. You know, this like huge selling pressure with like a flat open here basically in this kind of high volume. So yeah, this is like the only thing I managed to do today. I wasn't even at home when the A-class journalism basically happened, so I wasn't shorting this or whatever. The fact that this is not just like completely dying down is decent kind of sign of, you know, this might be looking a little promising. But yeah, I feel like, you know, like when shit like this happens, you know, when you have basically 10% wake, like if you're gonna go short here, you know, like your stop loss basically has to go above the highs, like, you know, like where you gonna put your stop loss, which, you know, doesn't really make sense to me to just kind of YOLO short this, going for, yeah, maybe like 1 hour trade here. So yeah, when it comes to BTC, not much really. When it comes to ETH, this is even more depressing, considering the fact that we had the ETF approved. Correct me if I'm wrong, which is this kind of
the futures
small
one?
Yeah, the futures
one.
No,
I don't think that's the one. I think that's the one to the left. This is like from yesterday.
No.
Or we had one more?
this is one from Friday evening. This is the one.
I was
when
fucked up in Dublin, so I cannot.
Yeah, this is when the news came out. Yeah, this kind of retrace we held it, but yeah, once again this is kind of dying. So and ETH is looking even worse. Considering if you're gonna take a look at these VWAPs, BTC is at least above the current year VWAP. And the ETH is kind of trading back towards these lows. Once again, doing the volume profile thingy, you will be able to see that we would be underneath. Yeah, like we bounce from the POC and we are kind of very close underneath this kind of edge of the volume. So this is one of those things when like this level of support, and you have also these kind of volume edges. If this is going to get broken, then it's like sad thing. And looking at the ETH BTC, which is like non-stop bullying as well, yeah, this is just like sad. So these are my thoughts. I know this is not something that is super insightful, but for me, at least for the upcoming weeks, I think there are some decent moves on altcoins still that can be kind of traded. Some of these like overshoot a little less, so you can kind of define your risk a little better. But just very quickly on BTC and ETH, I don't think we have any significant news this week. I haven't really looked at the calendar, but yeah, there's nothing in the US which would be kind of.
There's ECB hike, if I'm not mistaken.
But ECB hike is in Europe, like no one cares about that.
If I can trade crypto and like most of Europe anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
what's kind of interesting, the last thing is that ES and Nasdaq are pushing up again after Friday. So that's like the only thing I can really see is that like strength in the indices might be good for crypto, but yeah, the correlation is not really there. Like these things are in like full bull market. Well, this little depressing thing, is just basically doing nothing. So that's I think that's kind of for me for BTC and ETH at least. If you guys have any thoughts,
maybe Jim and I can be the last retard standing.
Yeah.
Do you want to share screen, by the way? If
Nah, not really.
Cool. Do we have any like altcoins kind of interesting things going on? Because I feel like like it's so like disappointing considering everyone was expecting not even like the October, but in general like end of the year kind of interesting things going on. But it really feels like there's.
I've pulled out the Bitcoin Cash chart.
Yeah, that's actually one of the better looking charts.
Oh god. You know what I find quite interesting is how we're getting market-wide bounces anytime BNB comes into this 205 level. And you got CZ tweeting about burning supply every fucking day. Like that to me is a bit sussy. So
yeah, like CZ at this point, like sacrificing children somewhere to just hold BNB above $200 basically.
Yeah.
Sacrificing launchpads.
Yeah.
Like at least before it was you have to commit BNB to get some new shitcoin, but now you have to commit like TUSD 2.4, like some weird shady stable coins, and it's just no. But there's a bunch of stuff happening. It just God knows.
BNB is funny because like every time I see someone trying to just short it on Twitter, they will get stopped out before anything happens. So yeah, it's they're just holding it at 200, but it feels like sooner or later this might just break down.
Absolutely.
But what are the implications if we lose the 200?
I don't know.
But my guess is they lose it once DOG fucking serves them over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Once they're down to only being able to service Hamas directly, and the rest of Europe's frozen them out, DOG's gonna slap them with the fucking serve, and it's gonna be over.
They are stopping UK, right? Like
they just did.
Yeah, they just did.
They did it like 10 minutes after the fake news. Classic. Not suspicious at all.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I kind of pulled out money from Binance a while ago, like a few weeks ago. I don't know. It's just a bit shady what with everything kind of going on, and they are launching fucking big time, or what was the name of the token they did last week.
You copy paste any time they launch something, and it's at 205 every time.
Yeah.
This is like. It's like I can't believe people are making fun of like Adam Cockring, whatever. Wow, it's being suspicious of Binance. But to be honest, if you're not suspicious of Binance right now, I think you need your head testing. Honestly.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird. Like they are still first in the volume, like in general. Even though basically, if you are from Europe, like you cannot trade there at this point.
It's because Hamas is fucking washing
big time
terrorist funds. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but yesterday, Loom, the coin Loom, did more volume than by Bitcoin. TRB did more volume than ETH, and some other shitcoin, big time, did more volume than Solana.
Yeah, it's
quite literally that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Like every time I just see these kind of coins, it's like one of those like big red flags. Basically, you kind of don't want to ever see, and these just keep kind of going up. Like I feel like a little bit the guy from the DWF guy, kind of his hype died down a little bit, but these shitcoins just still keep going up. So
I don't even know what these are. What's Loom?
Well, Loom is this new Korean shit.
Loomdart gets fucking. Just by association, Loomdart's gonna get investigated.
It's like -3% Bybit funding and like $1 billion worth of volume done on Abetrade.
What is this scam?
It's a dead ICO project.
These Korean funds like doing some shenanigans.
Yeah, this is still like negative 2.2% basically.
Unbelievable, man. 2.9 billion volume. Oh my god.
So do we have anything like interesting for like any more of a major coins coming up in the upcoming at least weeks?
Yeah. 1 second, I'm finishing my Apple. Let me switch to my screen. I would like to, if there is some value I could potentially provide. I think a lot of people completely, not like the Cointelegraph thing was a complete fuck you in the face, but on Friday afternoon or like at close, we got quite major news with the SEC non-appeal thing. But from my understanding, having talked to some smarter people, it happened after close. So basically, CME is closed, right? And the first moment when it opened again was obviously midnight for us, midnight here in our time zone. And basically ever since then, you see this massive TVAP in BTC, and then you see this bullshit with the Cointelegraph thingy. But what was interesting to me is I've created a ETF retard watch list here in TradingView. And basically all of these things make sense, what we are seeing today. And I'd like to click through these charts very quickly. So obviously BTC, everybody saw that, but if BTC, Adam went over it, down only. BTC dominance, obviously up only as well. GBTC is up like 8% today, coin. Full retraced with the Cointelegraph thing, but you see all these things basically, in my opinion, from my experience watching these things since June, or whenever it was Grayscale, BlackRock spot ETF listing thingy announced, all of these basically go trade hand in hand basically. So whenever I saw, even before, like in the morning today, as a European, I've seen like all of these things doing well. So that's whenever I kind of think like I expect some bullshit when it comes to ETF. And as a conclusion to the Friday news, there's interesting information that like a court, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not even going to pretend, but I'm expecting by end of this week or early next week to get some more headlines regarding Grayscale thing. So that could be another volatility catalyst. Direction, I don't know. I just know I'll be glued to my computer on 1 minute chart for 27 hours a day, as Adam calls it. So, and that's about it from me. And obviously on Wednesday we get Tesla earnings. And
Yeah, there are a bunch of earnings this week, but I don't think it's like super kind of correlated to crypto at this point.
No, crypto feels like its own special retard haven now. More so than ever.
I don't know. Like, I feel like mostly like it would be kind of like funny thing because like obviously most people kind of shorted this at this point today at least. You know, I believe that like after it kind of came out, it's fake news. You know, like I just saw people just piling into shorts.
You know, one thing that's noteworthy that I looked into is that there wasn't significant liquidations. It was actually a significant amount of longs closing on Binance as opposed to shorts getting obliterated.
Yeah.
So that's noteworthy to me that those longs pretty much closed on that move.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives me hope that there's some smart traders out, you know. If you have like a Cointelegraph shit happen and you don't see 3 of alpha in tier 10k DB for 20 minutes, do nothing. So you get suspicious. How is nobody, like everybody's scraping SEC website. This is the place where you will actually see the ETF was approved. I scraped it myself. There was nothing there. So you just have these sources breaking just in.
It's a bit dodgy in my opinion because you've got significant high volume TWAPing on a Sunday. Into a fake news leak, into massive long take profits, you know, so a bit strange.
Yeah, well, that's just kind of like crypto thing. Basically, it's like nothing new really.
What is interesting that this was one of the SEC main concerns with spot ETF, that it's easily manipulated and literally case in real time. Like this is exactly what happened today.
Yeah, it honestly wouldn't shock me if there was a really negative news drop over the next like 2 weeks, to be honest. That's what I think. You can clip it if you want, and we'll delete it if I'm wrong, and clout it if I'm right. So
people in the comment section already saying we pretty much suck and our commentary is dog shit. We're going to 100k next week because ETF approved. Tell your mom, tell your grandma. Happy? Cheers.
I'll be like on the lower time frames, like if this would at least like pull back a little bit and then start to kind of regain a little bit of like strength or something, you know, it would be kind of funny to see the wick getting filled. But I don't know. It feels like at this point, like being long has like better risk to reward ratio than being short, just simply because, you know, I feel like most people just kind of shorted this, at least kind of after the fact. But yeah.
Like without the wick, it still looks really good. And Adam, sorry, your colorblind colorways, color selection, is it perps leading? Can you go back to that lower time frame, please? Was it 1 hour?
Yeah. So yeah, the perp, you know, like the CVDs are kind of flat-ish. The white one is the spot one, and the open interest is also super muted. I think at least, you know, there will be like not much going on for at least last few days. You know, usually when you have something like this, everyone is kind of
yeah, sorry, I think you still don't have Bybit in aggregated open interest. Didn't you turn off Bybit during the day?
I don't have the OKX only, but yeah.
I would be surprised if it traded down to like 25.8 by the end of this week, to be honest.
Holy shit.
It's, like...
I mean, what would monthly look like, you know, if we do it, like, what would weekly and monthly look like then? It's like game over 1000%.
I never really look at these time frames because, like, my attention span is not made to look at monthly charts, but, yeah, it's... I don't know. It's mostly like a range bound type of thing, in my opinion. You know, it's really like in the middle of this huge thing, and you know, like obviously it's kind of good to, you know, make huge predictions and then you know, claim cloud and everything. But I feel like it's at the point where anything can happen. You know, at least for the ETH, like when I was taking the long, you have this kind of like section where you are basically, even if you're gonna take a look at this from like super simple like price action perspective, you are at the range low kind of thing. Like if you have all the volumes kind of build up in this range, like in here, there's this like a very small section where this can move quickly rather than just trying to jump basically in the middle, which I think BTC is still basically back to the middle. So
I think ETH looks awful.
yeah, but it looks like way worse than Bitcoin.
Unless it breaks daily structure and takes out 1778, I think you got to follow the trend. And me personally, once it loses this consolidation at like 1520 as far as support goes, it's probably going to get some reaction at 1400. But I honestly think that 1200, 1250 is in play on ETH. Like,
and
you really got to be like, you really got to ask yourself like, what's the benefit or reason for buying ETH at these prices currently? There's real no reason or catalyst to be bullish on ETH.
I think like
I have a counter argument to that.
Okay.
Let me be a bulltard for once on this stream, because currently it's 3 bearish people and everybody's gonna dislike and report us to SEC. So let's say Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved. I'm personally buying ETH, not BTC, and I might be completely retarded, but I think the next narrative between the crypto Twitter and journalist is when Ethereum's spot ETF. But again, might be completely retarded. But that's what I'm gonna do, regardless.
I think like a lot of people just like look at ETH as this kind of like a blue chip, which gives you better results like to the upside. Obviously, people never think about downside anyway. But yeah, like I feel like outside of the ETFs, there's like not much going on for ETH on like like actual ETH side when they would have like something interesting. And yeah, the daily chart here looks quite shitty. Like I can really see this kind of retest of this structure right here, and this can just very easily kind of roll down. This level of support was tested 3 or 4 times basically already, so it has definitely decent amount of downside. And if you're gonna take a look at the left, there is not much really to kind of stop the price, in my opinion, at least towards like Jim said, around 1400 basically.
This guy's saying upgrade end of the year. Is that guaranteed or what?
There is some like thing for layer 2s, if I'm not mistaken. EIP number I don't remember, but should make.
Find me the last time ETH didn't delay a fucking upgrade.
That's a good point.
And you know what makes me laugh about ETH fucking bulltards is they'll lock their ETH away and then let Vitalik dump his coins on them.
But you don't understand 3.5% APR, so.
Yeah. What we down so far?
With like 25% downside.
Yeah. But,
I think that
Vitalik's literally selling 1600s, and you guys are bullish on the coin. It's nuts. I don't get it.
Yeah, but not like there is like something interesting for any other layer 1 basically. I don't think, at least. Like Solana is doing decently well, which I think has mostly a lot to do with the fact that like it was in September basically, and here like everyone was like super bearish because FTX has all these coins to sell. So I think like a lot of this move to the upside was just like a huge short squeeze.
I'm pretty sure they also stake the coins, Galaxy. Let me actually check. I think I have Cointelegraph or something, but they're not very reliable, are they? After today, but I don't know how to use this website, but something with Solana maybe? No? Yeah, look, I think I've read something about that Galaxy thingy, like the people taking care of the coins are staked it. And I think that's a smart play, but
yeah, someone asking about Matic, that's like, yeah, like, I don't know.
Somebody came from Trader SZ feed.
Yeah, this is looking terrible. Like this is just like bad. Like basically, like if you, from like a very simple perspective, if you're just gonna take like this year as a proxy, you just look at the yearly open, which is basically here. Matic is 30% underneath that. So like why bother, basically, kind of thing. All these kind of moves. I was actually shorting this at the start of the month, with this kind of like decent buying pressure that got retraced. But yeah, I don't see any kind of point to just try to buy this or hold this or whatever. And I think other layer 2s are not doing like extra well as well. Optimism, yeah, it's looking kind of shitty as well.
Not very optimistic on that one.
And the Arbitrum, yeah.
Oof.
This is it's just getting worse, basically. And you need to understand that, like, if BTC, if this was kind of it, and BTC is going to do like 12% down to trade, like, to these like support low, at least, like, all these coins have like so much downside to go, basically. So yeah, like, when it comes to altcoins, like, only things that look like somewhat decent are all these kind of scams that just like had these huge rallies, and they are still kind of retracing them. So you can, in my opinion, this is one of those things I was looking at yesterday. You can kind of play these like small bounces because you have this like a huge run up structure, and even though this is dying down, you can still kind of play these things into some like local SR levels. So buying anything above like yearly VWAP is much better trade than just picking up some layer 1 or layer 2 because you like it, basically. So yeah, someone asking about Kanto, which is like,
can you please not? It's 460,000 daily volume.
Yeah.
Like, we keep saying every week, look, if you want some on-chain shit discussed, this is not the stream to do it. No, don't even open it, dude. That's like disgrace to this stream. That's disrespectful. No, thank you.
Well, a few more weeks of this price action, and we're gonna be charting roll bit, so don't jump into conclusions at this
I
point.
would rather neck. Like, people are like, God damn it. I mean, the fact that you're discussing Blue Zell is very bear market already.
Yeah, but other than that, and even like a lot of these things, like, they're just sitting inside these ranges. Not Solana. Solana is looking decent, but like Litecoin, these bigger coins. Link, I think, is gonna go lower. There's nothing really going on at this point. This has, in testing some of the levels, this is something that I was looking at today. Yeah.
And since Adam was picking fights, look, with Kanto it's very simple. It's always the 3 crypto Twitter influencers who keep dumping on you, and people keep asking about these on-chain shitcoins that just get dumped and farmed to infinity. Stop your Stockholm syndrome and start trading proper shit, please. Seriously. It's embarrassing. Kanto, 400,000 daily volume.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, it's interesting that all these things get so much, like, traction, and everyone is looking at these, but when like, and I'm not talking about like a huge size, but like, you cannot do much with these things. Like, even if, obviously, I don't think these things have like perps or whatever, but like, if you trade something that has like million daily volume, the spread is going to be huge, basically. So even if you want to, I don't know, like, have like a lower size to trade with, like, this, that is just like, you're gonna get like fucked on the spread, and then like, I feel like people don't realize they cannot just like exit the trades, basically. Like, if you are in a BTC or ETH or Solana trade or whatever, and like things go to shit, like, you can at least like get out without getting slipped another like 10-15%, basically. So yeah, Link. I think Link is kind of done. At least going back to like $7.
Can you check Link BTC?
You have BTC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't bounce, so yeah, this is losing the yearly VWAP as well. If we're gonna just basically do this, you have all this type of structure, that you build here. You kind of make a lower high from, this low that made this high, going for a retest, then most likely move somewhere towards here. Yeah, I'm still pretty sad about the Link trade because, it was essentially just a disappointment with the conference, and I didn't really trade it well. But
I know you're still not over the trade when it's, I think, third or fourth stream when you're like, we should have traded this better.
Yeah, I'm just so sad about this because like, yeah, this is just like, this is like the classic disappointment when you kind of wait for this like a huge blow off when you have, this is like 2 years of range basically since, or not 2 years, it's like a year and a half of range. This thing has finally like a decent build up. There is this fucking conference going on, and they cannot even like, you know, like do some like proper kind of overshoot where you can like short it with like.
You know what's amazing is you look at a chart like this, and it's literally a money printer as far as trading it goes. But I won't trade it based on the thought of waiting for that inefficient blowout, even though it's kept. It's just been a literal, like you just long and short the same price, but it's so hard to get over that mental hurdle of like, I'm going to get blown out, instead of just like putting your stop at the logical next high. And you could probably short it again. No, well, to be honest, it'll be the one time you actually do that trade now and short it, and it'll end up blowing you.
Yeah, you're just gonna like find, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna short here. It's like nothing going on. Like, next day is like this and then this basically. But I don't know. Like for some reason, like if I go to Twitter to my like explore page on phone, it's on a link, and people just like farm like insane engagement of just posting the same chart. Like this is like year and a half of the range is going to finally break out tomorrow.
No, wait, let me draw one of these. You can continue.
Yeah, but yeah, this is like the peak crypto PTSD type of chart basically, when it's
This
just
is
like
the chart
doing
that's
nothing
not non-stop.
It's literally like.
One sec, you have to scroll into like 2031.
Yeah. Like
wait, I have to do
now.
logarithmic as well. Where is the star emoji? 1 second. Oh, holy shit! You have emojis now in TradingView.
Awesome. So Twitter is going to be even more cringe from now on.
Where is the LGBTQ the ones?
How do I add? Ooh.
Where's this? Yeah, here, money.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Finally, something useful.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Someone mentioned STX, which is
STX.
Yeah, Bitcoin data.
I have not heard of any of these. Stacks.
the name choice for the token is a little bit not fortunate, but yeah, it's a BTC beta.
I mean, look at where it wicked into. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
No, they're asking for Strax, not stacks.
Oh,
There's
okay.
R. That's a different shitcoin. Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
have no idea. I have no idea what this is. Like
Look,
I never
zoom out. So I believe this got perps recently, but don't quote me on that. It's the classic Binance listing perps for something that's minus 99%.
Yeah, it got listed on Binance Futures 11th of October.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
I bet it got listed when BNB was at 205.
It's nice that it got listed on 11th, which is here, but the first leg up happened on 6th. So
No, but look. In Binance defense, I'm pretty sure this was basically the flow is following. This shit is listed on Upbit, the Korean spot-only exchange. It does 2 billion daily volume, and then it basically gets listed on Binance perps because it has spot pair already on Binance. Does it make sense?
Okay.
So Binance is like, fuck these Koreans. We're gonna take their volume and we're gonna liquidate plebs on perps.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I don't know what's with it. Like you have this decent range that you broke up from, above kind of like last year, VWAP, and this year kind of VWAP structure, and you have this huge SR. So, if this going to retrace into here and it's going to start to look a little alive, then, probably, yeah, good kind of long.
Oh, I have a good question for Jim.
Oh, God.
A RWA narrative. Do you know what that is? What do you think about that? So it's the real world assets on chain. So that's your maker DAO. So it's basically you put money into the vault, and they put that money and buy bonds with it. So and then they redistribute the profit from the yield. So like back to holders. Have you heard about that yet? And what do you think of that
No.
potentially?
So they're basically just tokenizing bonds. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah. They're
This
just
might-
trying to escape crypto.
They basically, the
I mean-
narrative is that this will bring this will bring big time, no pun intended, big time investments to crypto, because this is how you can.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Instead of just buying bonds that are a safer product that are insured, people are going to come and buy them through crypto, where some retards like fucking doing some yield generating strategy that's got like 5 years experience or something. He lives with his mum. Like, yeah, I don't understand really.
I don't like to trade these things. I think this is like, one of those on-chain kind of things where there are few people that just like can move this very easily. The chart is looking like it's losing a stream a little bit. We had a bounce from here, but the bounce is kind of getting
Looks
weaker and
like
weaker.
a lower high potentially.
Yeah, like you still kind of have this structure that you are holding up, but what often happens, you have your first test here, it's just going to make very small bounce, and for the second bounce is even lower. So if you're gonna kind of lose this here, then I think this is going to retrace. I never really traded this. Like I said, there's like I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, like there is like bunch of people that like hold like huge amounts on chain, and like usually these
Yeah.
moves start with someone buying, so it's not it's just extra work instead of just looking at open interest. So
Doing support and resistance on
Yeah.
on higher time frame open interest. Yeah, this is like, you have like few basically Binance leaderboard and VC bros with a lot of capital non-stop T-Vapping maker, because they're on the belief that the whole bond thing we discussed is basically future of crypto, and this is the next big narrative. Just like remember ETH to become deflationary and now it's inflationary again type of thing. Yeah, so
I just don't even get if that's going to be legal. So they're basically just going to tokenize,
let me
so
Google
make
it.
on-chain, but so they're basically going to copy paste the bond chart into on-chain crypto. Is that what you're saying? So they're just going to own bonds.
I don't think like it's like the only thing they do, but yeah, like
Jesus Christ, just buy bonds.
it's like the Luna thing when they just decided to buy BTC into
They're
their
buying make a spot with the bond profits. Oh, it sounds like fucking Luna.
The thing is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm again not a macro larpor, but that only makes sense when T-bills have such high yields anyways. What happens when
Yeah.
that turns? Then you have this whole DAI mechanism shit, which is the
Yeah.
stablecoin. I just, whenever I read into this, I'm like, nope, I'm going back to shorting conferences coins, and that's it.
yeah.
Too stupid for that.
Yeah, this is just like a lot of extra steps and a lot of risk for when you can just buy bonds if you want, basically.
But the thing is, you don't get to buy bonds if you're European, right? Like you don't actually get access to bonds itself.
Yeah.
So you have to buy some ETFs, no? Like I have no clue. But like as European, you cannot just buy T-bills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can only buy like TLT or whatever the ticker is. It's like
That's
way
20-year
too.
now?
Yeah, it's like 20 year.
I don't know. Look, maybe we should stick to crypto.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
already
probably.
getting angry.
Yeah, talking about shitcoins is probably the better thing than just going into US economy, which I have like zero knowledge
My
about.
stance on if I hear the word yield in crypto, I'm out. Like I'm done. I'm not interested. Like, have we not learnt enough?
But
And
people
that's
like
what's funny. You go to these crypto conferences and everyone's building the same fucking thing that's already been built. That's why I was so exhausted in Singapore.
how many times you were asked what are you building in the
Oh,
token?
dude, every fucking.
So where
10
do you
minutes.
work?
Yeah,
Oh,
what
God.
are you building was very popular question in the.
Honestly, if I had a drink every time I heard like layer 2 smart contract solution, I'd be dead. I wouldn't have made it home. Fucking hell, man.
It's just all
Right.
bullshit. If I learned something over the years, like all these narratives is just to like lure in new exit liquidity of like it's total bullshit. It all makes sense when number go up, and when number go down, everybody loses conviction anyways. And
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
altcoins in
crypto's-
It's just sad.
This Singapore trip made me so bearish in the sense that the only thing I see happening in crypto is you get an initial raise, you put that money into having a party to invite people with more money. You give away free drinks and shit. You basically copy paste what's already been built and try and raise a second time. And then just siphon the money out. So that seems like the only thing that's happening. I can't think of anything that's being built that's actually interesting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a thing that the whole year, like BTC has been kind of outperforming basically everything. If we are not going to talk about the big time tokens and all the kind of super shit coins.
All the future finance.
Yeah, I feel like. If there is like any chance for another bull market, like something new has to come up. Like I don't think that like shit like Polygon is going to just like undo all of this pain and just like hit the new all-time high. Same with like even Solana is looking kind of bad. Like I don't know. Like I just have a hard time to kind of imagine this going back to 260, like all of this never happened basically, because like what new thing all these protocols are going to build, like like in 2021 with all the DeFi summer and all the new layer 1s, layer 2s, you had this kind of like a novelty thing, but and everyone was like expecting so many things to happen, like but what's more to like what they're gonna do more on Solana to send it another 10x basically, and even higher to like $500 or whatever.
It's like crypto needs new Ponzinomics, right? That was always that is new thing, like the farming on food protocols.
It needs good monetary policy where money's cheap, and it needs a narrative that people get suckered into. It's the same every time. Like DeFi doesn't work in a restrictive monetary. When it only works when money's coming into the system, because you're basically taking that money and using it to give to the next person. So if there's no money coming in, it's very hard to generate yield.
When you give money to DeFi, you're basically giving money to Justin Sun, who's like 80% of all of DeFi on all of chains.
Yeah.
Somebody saying bottom signal, classic. I waited for that one.
Yeah. And you're gonna get hacked in the end anyway. So I don't know. Like I don't think that like for any type of like new bull market or whatever, there has to be something like new and interesting to kind of happen. I think like the best performance if when or whatever there is a new kind of alt season are going to be coins that are new and don't have all this pain. I know like the stupid fucking eye scanner coin. This even though like they are doing this market making stuff which is like capping the price and whatever, this doesn't have that kind of like pain history of going negative 90% basically, so people are going to reach but like there is, in my opinion at least, there's like a higher likelihood of something like this doing this kind of like next 10x basically and going to $15, although this has like massive fully diluted value, so I don't think this is like the best example, but
this is now like an AI proxy coin, right? Because of Sam
basically.
So this whenever new ChatGPT releases, this thing will pump. Same with
basically this and
I think the only narrative that's potentially worth looking into at this early stage is the like social fi stuff. But even if it like you don't necessarily believe, like I know for a fact that like a lot of VCs that are actually still active, that's kind of all they're looking into. So
isn't it also kind of dying, a little bit? I think all the kind of copycats of Frentech were just for like a several hundred K Twitter accounts.
No, but I'm saying there's projects that you can look out for. I'm not gonna. I don't want to mention any projects.
Shill it.
No, it's not going to happen. Or I'm saying if you do your research, there's definitely plenty of sort of upcoming social stuff that VCs are actually putting quite a lot of money into as well.
I just like when it comes to social like. Like people obviously kind of market it as like, sharing alpha there or whatever, but you're just gonna end up like saying GM to a bunch of people.
But there's more to social fi than just like friend tech and stuff, I'm saying.
So you mean like copy trading? like copy trading platforms?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. Somebody clip it.
Yeah.
That'll be a narrative, in my opinion, because VCs are basically putting money into it, so there'll be some pumps on that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like copy trading can be cool. Obviously, you're gonna have more of like a no-name accounts, being popular there because, let's be fair, like not many people with huge accounts actually trade on Twitter. So, but yeah, there might be something into that.
Mate, the players to copy trade the worst performers.
We should start like a counter trade platform basically. It's just going to like pull all the charts from Twitter and people can just like bet money on like counter trading.
Who was it? There was a huge fund manager or big trader who said like one of the most valuable people in his fund was like the worst trader there because it was like an easy counter trade signal. I can't remember who it was.
I don't know.
Because it was like he was basically saying it like the worst trader is as good as the best trader. And it's true.
Was it Alameda?
Yeah, probably.
Someone asking about this is the Telegram coin, right? I'm not wrong. Yeah.
I'll tell you, Alpha immediately. Like 70% of all supply is held within like 5 wallets, and it's a Russian project. That's all you need to know. Stay the fuck away.
They're right. It was Tom. I think it was Tom Dunn.
Yeah, Tom Dunn. Yeah, he had a story about the guy who kept like all the Twitter people in the notebook, and he was just like counter trading them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never traded this. To be fair, I know there is Telegram coin, but yeah, it's nothing to.
It's like in general, if I may give, because I probably trade altcoins the most out of the 3 people on the stream. It's like a few things I have written down. Like I don't want to be trading coins that I know a big, rich Asian person can control over me, which is like your TRX. This is like BNB. Back in the days, it was Huobi. Yeah, it's just you can get fucked by one tweet or whatever. The Garachev guy from DWF. It's just I might be coping or blaming my shitty trading execution on manipulation, but for some reason I'm actually making money trading coins that do not fit this criteria. So maybe I'm just retarded or there's something to it. But same with Ton.
It's just like a bigger scale of on-chain trading. When you buy some stupid coin that sounds shilled and load it up the bag before doing so. This is like a similar thing. It's just like a little bit more volume, basically.
Guys, I don't want to panic you, but I've just loaded an old chart of ETH with a trend line on it, and it's so over. It's not even funny.
Yeah,
it's
like
generally over for ETH based on this trend line that I drew months ago.
It's going to be something like.
Oh yeah.
No, this one. This one is looking like it's gonna.
I go to daily bodies just because it gives me more bearish bias.
adjust the trend line.
I just draw it so it fits my bearish bias, and it's hitting pretty bearishly right now.
Yeah, ETH is looking quite bad, to be fair. Like I don't know. Like ETH is really one of those things where it like the chart itself is looking pretty shitty.
But that's as it should be, no? Like even if you go ETH BTC from last cycle, it does the same thing always. It's like if you like really zoom out, I hate the word, but like actually zoom out to like 2018, it did the same thing. Yeah, you see, like it always moves like it, and then you look at what Bitcoin is doing. It's always this constant dance back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, like I said this months ago on stream, that I kind of think ETH goes all the way back to 0.03.
0.00.
Because my view on like the ETH BTC and the alt BTC charts is it's an indication of like excess sort of beta and leverage in the market. And like if we base the market that I kind of agree with Solar. I can't believe I'm saying it. The Bitcoin is like there is no second best, and I kind of view altcoins as leverage for Bitcoin. It's like leveraged Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I kind of think these ETH BTC charts go all the way back to just like death. And that because my sort of hot take back then was when ETH BTC gets back to like 0.03, I think that's a sign of like all the excess sort of beta and leverage is kind of out of the system then, and it's kind of mean reverted back to, you know, like it'll be an indication of like true representation of market cap and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And that's
fair.
kind of my view, because it's like, for me, it's like a froth indicator as opposed to a strength indicator. And I kind of think it's a good argument that it goes all the way back to baseline, and that's an indication that like the froth is out of the system, the money's gravitated back towards Bitcoin. Because I think one thing I've not really looked at, but I'd be interested to look at, is the divergence from like top altcoins, like volume versus Bitcoin, because I bet they're diverging quite aggressively to where Bitcoin is taking the majority of the volume because it's the only liquid asset really left in the market, and then the altcoin volumes are like going the other way. So,
But then you have the few outliers like Big Time, which does like 4 billion daily. It does more volume than Solana and ETH combined.
Yeah, but that's going to die like within a week.
And that would be the
maybe.
best thing, the most bullish thing that could happen to the market right now, I think.
Yeah, I think, and even if you're gonna take a look at ETH BTC, you know, like going back into this like huge range when you have this like a bunch of volumes, 2018 to 2021, so like 3 years of just sideways. It's like 30% move to the downside, which, you know, it's not something that insane. Basically, it's just like once doing this thing one more time.
based on this fucking 6-month-old trend line I drew, it's probably going to happen next week.
Cool. So yeah, if
Very
anyone
optimistic
has
stream.
some yeah, I've been just reading comments, like people just giving us shit the whole time,
Yeah.
being the bottom signal. It's going to be funny if this is really the bottom and BTC just like undo the whole week and it's like trading at 35k next week. Like if BTC by next Monday is above 30k, this was the last episode, so thank you everyone for coming. I'm not going to show up here again.
I will say one thing bullish, because I have been pondering it today. Because I like, before I realized it's fake news, I was pondering the idea of like, what if the ETF does get approved? Like as far as like geopolitical sort of situation, the idea of a spot Bitcoin ETF at the same time as like global war kind of thing happening, and like how easy it is compared to sort of physical metals. You know, the timing's actually quite interesting if it does get approved with regards to that, as it being potentially a flight to safety.
Gold has a huge move, like with the war thing, which, you know, you would kind of expect maybe BTC doing something similar, but, you know, there was like a huge move to the upside on gold last week.
Yeah, because I kind of, one thing I think about is like, is crypto more accessible to sort of countries more in crisis than us Westerners? You know, people in the Middle East and stuff. Is it easier for them to just? But then the only other thought I've had. See, this is kind of a. Sorry, I'm still in the thought, so I'm kind of stumbling. But like, in that instance, would Bitcoin be the place to go to, or would it be stable coins? So I'm actually going to keep an eye on sort of stable coin issuance over the next few weeks, because I think that'll be quite an interesting thing to observe.
Yeah.
That's what Turkish people been doing, you know, their currency.
Yeah,
going
like
to
I
fucking
know,
shit.
like you know, since we talked so much shit about the whole space in this last 15 minutes, I think there's like a huge use case for a lot of people in a lot of countries when it comes to especially stablecoins. You know, when you really can just kind of go against this huge inflation that is happening in some places, and yeah, like I think people are still going to be, you know, fairly, you know, into risk and just buying BTC and buying spot ETF. I can kind of see that happening.
I'm also opposed to fading Paul Tudor Jones. He's on my don't fade shortlist.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not like last time he was bullish was, you know, basically the start of the bull run. So, and he was bullish on equities at the pico. Well, he probably was the pico bottom of equities before they rallied. So,
it's interesting that equities holding up fairly well. You know, like
Really
during the war kind of situation, you not going to expect this type of move that's happening in the ES.
But people
Which
been saying
kinda-
that it's like 5 companies holding it up. I cannot confirm.
Yeah, but like, I think the thing is like, if you're gonna take a look at Nasdaq, even DAX is kind of looking weaker in Europe. But if you're gonna take a look at ES and Nasdaq, and this is like my biggest issue with crypto, is even if you're gonna take a look at stocks, like this year, if you're gonna take a look at Nvidia, if you're gonna take a look at like Facebook, like this is very apparent that like the risk appetite is there, like people has been, this like up only, this basically open up, this meta open up in January, and it's just like no fucking pullbacks whatsoever. So this is kind of telling you that like people are willing to, like go risk on basically, and they apparently, have money to do it as well, but like, like they just don't want to do it in crypto.
I think we kind of lost them with the FTX, Celsius. I think unironically, the ETF approval might give us some stamp of legitimacy back. It will just, like, we are just now getting the mainstream coverage or FBF trial and Caroline, like you see on YouTube. So it's literally this week. I don't think we can expect people to be like back to the Ponzi right away. It will take time. That's what I've been beating like a drum. Patience.
FTX was like a huge hit still for like a lot of people, and like it's not making it easier. Like derivatives or just like Binance closed in the UK. In the US, you cannot really trade any kind of futures. I think, people obviously use VPN and whatever, but it's getting harder and harder to actually trade crypto for a lot of countries. I remember, even when I was in Spain, I couldn't use something like Bybit, for example, there. So yeah, it's just like something needs to kind of change, in my opinion, for like a huge kind of people coming into this market again and
like
having,
as far as sustained. I kind of think the only thing that could do that is an ETF with global war kind of things. Kind of sadly your best hope. Like if we're just going objectively as traders, the sort of number one narrative, sadly.
So would you guys agree that we're all bulls, but on much longer time frame than most people watching that 100K tomorrow? It's just like a realistic expectations against I want to get rich tomorrow type shit. Like we're gonna be fine, but
I obviously like want to do the space to do well. Like I still think that like trading the kind of up only it's much easier, can be much easier from time to time. Just like riding things, or at least your returns can get much bigger. Obviously like. Even if from like trading side of things, like trading these kind of mean reversion trades is all good, but if you're just gonna catch, like one of my biggest winners are still from 2021 when I just was like buying Solana for $1 and just kind of rode it for a while basically. So I obviously want to do the space do well, but I also try not to be like delusional and just keep buying with going everything basically going 90% down. So.
I just want more than an hour of sustained volatility.
Yeah.
Like even today, like we've crabbed in a 0.5% range for the majority of the day after that move, which is just tragic. Like and this is one of the things that's kind of weird to me in this market is you used to be able to trade either side. Like the best parts to trade were actually either side of the large volatile move, because you generally get like certain algos that will trigger based on tape speed, volume, volatility, etc. would basically like arb out the price like across exchanges, and bring it back. When it got blown out, like where derivatives would be trading differently to other exchanges and stuff. And you get this nice period of price action where prices would sort of come back to the same price, if you get me. But they just don't. They're just dormant. A lot of the good, a lot of the algos that give sustained volatility are just dormant, which is kind of sad, to be honest.
And do you think maybe part of it is with all these market makers, either they have to pull out due to regulations, changing, just or like general like nobody interested in the market?
I just think people either don't just aren't prepared to provide the liquidity. I guess it's just not particularly a safe market to be providing a lot of liquidity to, I guess.
when a fake headline
actually-
can blow it 10%.
Yeah, and you know you really got to think, like, I've not really thought about it much, but the actual the FTX trial that's going on now, it's a lot of eyes on it in a negative light. You know, I think we kind of underestimate that. So they all went to Weather Futures, exactly. They're all trading orange juice and fucking eggs.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, it's you know, I wasn't really affected by FTX, but like it was such a huge hit for a lot of people. So, you know, the risk appetite and like general view of crypto for a lot of people is just so bad. And it will take time, you know, this can take like few years basically, or, you know, something has to change in the whole space where, you know, price is like 50% higher and people just want to, you know, get in and it's exciting again basically. It's either one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yes.
Trade over markets as well. People, it's so easy to get on board as far as like trading crypto derivatives, but I don't think people realize it's not actually that difficult to get set up in equities and stuff. So
yeah. And I see like still like more and more people who kind of talk to me like switching to the traditional markets. Yeah. So I think we've been going for an hour. Thank you everyone for tuning into the depression stream. If you have any questions, or if, you know, whatever you want us to talk about, but yeah, we're gonna kind of slowly end things up today. Hopefully things will be better looking next week. Yeah, I don't think we particularly enjoyed to just
Wait,
like
Bitcoin is moving. Keep talking.
shit on everything. Okay, I'm going to switch to 1 minute chat.
Hell yeah! Let me make a thread about that.
Nice.
The bottom's in when Adam's got a fucking Ninja Trader referral code.
Sponsored by CME Futures.
Yeah. ARK Investment, fucking.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think we like enjoy having streams like these. Obviously, it's much more fun when there's just like stuff going on, and, you know, we can talk about the trades that we take, and we can.
I mean, I shorted BTC. Somebody asked, no trades, great stream. Like, yeah, I shorted Bitcoin I market shorted when I was tweeting fake, and people called me coping and sidelined. Shut the fuck up. Goodbye.
Yeah. From my point of view, at least, you know, I'm an old person now. I don't play day trade anymore. I like to walk outside from time to time. So for me to take any type of swing trade here, you know, I just hate to have like fucking 10% wick to use as my validation. So
Adam takes trades on ETH when it underperforms by 5.5% on the day.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's just so sad because like from this like you know, like when it's like technical stuff and levels and everything, like ETH often looks better, so I just take a trade, and if it's long, it's just like underperforms heavily, and it's one of those memes like, it's not BTC pumping, you really are a genius when I'm up like 2%, or ETH move when BTC up is 15%, but yeah.
Up in USD, you know? Up in USD.
When those SocialFi copy trading things, we're all going to be just copy trading. We're going to be, counter trading Adam. That's going to be the main strategy we're going to run.
Adam doesn't know how to set up a transaction on chain though, so.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, let's cut it
for
because
coming.
we're pumping and I don't love that, so.
Okay.